Tonight on The Rundown. Big shakeups are happening over at Warner Brothers, and some of your favorite superhero movies may be in jeopardy. I'll break down the latest story. Fans are alleging that singing competition The Voice is racist after the finalists for season 22 were chosen. Is their observation correct, or are fans overreacting? And it's official. After 3 seasons, ballroom competition series Legendary has been given the chop. Plus, we have the latest news on Wendy Williams, Brittney Griner, Bad Bunny, and Drag Race. All coming up on The Rundown with your host, Chris Avalon.
Ooh. Hey, y'all. I just took a swig of this honey whiskey before we went live. I was like, ooh, let me swallow it real quick. And then I was like, ooh. But anyway, how y'all doing? Come on, say bye. All that good stuff. It's your boy, Chris Avalon, and welcome to a brand new episode of The Rundown. We basically just run down all the hot topics that you may have missed throughout the week. I just give my opinions on all the stuff. It's a lot we got to get to. So, I better keep y'all with all the banter and stuff for long because I want to get to all of these topics. But anyway, so those of you who watch me in the live chat, thank you all for tuning in. I see Sailor Mermaid's already in the building. I'll give it a minute before other people decide to show up. If not, we're going to still pump on with this show. Like I said, this is basically a live show where you could just jump in and leave your comments. You could react to a lot of the stories that we're talking about, and I'll definitely read your comments if you're watching live. So right now we're on Periscope via Twitter. We're on YouTube Live. I'm on Facebook Live. I'm live everywhere. That's the good thing about using Restream. You can pretty much just go wherever you want. And then I'm going to chop up these videos later on. It's going to end up on TikTok and a whole bunch of other places. So for those of you who are watching, thank you all for tuning in, and thank you all for always supporting the show. Please like and subscribe and all that good stuff. Let people know about these stories. Even if you're watching this later on, like in the replay, leave your comments. I'm always here for differences of opinion. I'm not someone that's going to just shut anyone down as long as you're respectful. So before we get to the topics, so I just want to say, yes, follow the Chris Avalon, all that good stuff at the bottom, which is going to pop up any second. I'll give production a minute to do what they do. But yeah, just follow the Chris Avalon on my social media platforms. And right on cue, here she come with it. It is. Okay, so without further ado, let me get into the tea. So we're going to talk about, before I get to my main topics or whatever, there was something I need to address. So last week, I did 2 things. I did the rundown, and then I did a special On the Line episode, because as soon as we were done with this episode of last week's episode 9 of the rundown, because this is the 10th episode, production, well, EJ, who was my producer, his partner DJ, who used to produce my radio show, the Chris Avalon Show, basically was like, because, you know, after we're done with the show, I don't necessarily just sign off. I sign off with y'all, but there's still a show after the show. So there's an after show that we don't tape. We just talk about the show, and we talk about a bunch of other things. So DJ brought up, he was like, did y'all hear about this Shangela situation? And started breaking it down, everything, mind you. And then I was like, I actually did hear about it because I heard it from, I think it was YBF podcast wrote the article on it. But I actually heard about the story days before because I have people who work in the industry and they tell me stuff. And I'm working, you know, I dip my toe in the industry and I'm around, I've done things as well. So I'm no new bird. I've been doing this for a long time. Some of y'all just may have heard me, but Chris Avalon been around for a long time, trust and believe. So, a friend of mine basically got on the phone with me and we started talking about this, that, and the third. So I did a video on it because I was like, okay, so now it's getting out. It's all over social media. People are making comments. I saw it was all over Facebook as well. But I wanted to check and see if all this was actual facts or whatever the case is, especially with the new season of We're Here being on HBO Max. So I did the video. I posted it. YouTube, everybody was pretty much respectful in the comments and was like basically saying a lot of what I said. Like they had no problems. Like, you know what? I have a hard time believing this because Shangela doesn't seem like the type of person. But if this did happen, she needs to get ahead of it. This needs to be something that's discussed. She hasn't been discussing it. I've been seeing her Instagrams or whatever because, you know, I do follow her and I'm a fan. So she's been traveling. She's been doing a lot of things, but no mention of this. I posted the video on my, you know, once I'm done with the show, I do edit and then I post the video on other streaming platforms. So I posted it on YouTube, I posted it on Instagram, I posted it on TikTok, I posted it on Facebook. The place where I got the most views and the most pushback was TikTok. Which is not surprising because TikTok tends to be a lot of where I get a lot of my growing audience. I've been growing a pretty fast audience when it comes to viewerships and comments and all this stuff. So that's why I kind of like TikTok because TikTok seems like it's more interactive. It's a very interesting thing. I don't like the fact that they only give you 3 minutes to say what you need to say. I don't like that whole vibe with the videos, which is why a lot of times if I do little TikTok videos with the green screen, I can cut it and do it in that short amount of time. That's neither here nor there. But I did like the fact that people were saying, well, you shouldn't be putting this story out here because you don't necessarily know it's true. Or they were getting mad over the fact that how long I was taking to get to spreading and breaking down the thing. First of all, I understand it's TikTok, whatever, and y'all want shit in 3 fucking minutes, but that's not how I do. When I'm bringing a story up, I'm trying to bring all the sides and put it in context because I don't want people trying to misconstrue what I'm saying. So people who have a problem with how long I take to get to a fucking point, go somewhere else where they'll give it to you in 12 seconds or less. Because that ain't me. I say what the fuck I want to say on my own goddamn program. And if people don't like it, you know where the fuck you can go. And that's for anybody. I don't give a damn who it is. Because at the end of the day, you stood around long enough to watch the shit. So I don't care how long. It could be 2 seconds, 2 minutes, or 25 minutes. The fact of the matter is you watch. And thank you for being a fan. Now back to the rest of this other stuff. So I put the stuff out. Oh, hey, David laughed. He said, oh, she cursing. So I put the story and stuff. I talked about it. I said what I needed to say. And I put it out there. I was like, you know what? Whether or not this is true, she needs to get ahead of it. And also, just because somebody is not a damn show in, I ain't changing it. I said what I said. In the words of Lanithia Monique Leaks, I said what I said. And I stand by what the fuck I say. Now, I wasn't meaning no ill will to Shangela. I did not talk shit about her. I did not mean to say anything mean-spirited. But here's the thing. When something this big comes out that could be detrimental to your career and damaging, I do feel that you need to get ahead of it. I don't care who it is. I don't care if Jesus Christ came down off the cross and raped somebody. If it's true, he need to address it. Yeah, or Tamisha Iman. I said what I said. Hold on. I'm feeling very Dominique Jackson right now. Coat the throat. Read the bitch. So, or I should say Electra, Abundance, Wintour, Evangelista, whatever last name she decided to take at the time when she read that lady in the Hamptons. So, I I said all she needed to do was get ahead of it. Now, I did speak to Daniel, the guy who made the accusations. When I posted the video on my Instagram, he basically messaged me on Instagram. He DM'd me and was like, you know what, thank you for giving me a voice. He wanted to clarify some things. He said it did not happen during this current season. A lot of the alleged situation happened. Alleged, because you're not trying to sue my ass over no shit. I'm just reporting what is out there. It was alleged. He did slide up in the comments, and this video said, he said, I talked to the creators about what happened to me prior to that message being sent this past February, but this all happened to me in Louisiana while filming season 1, just to clarify. And he basically slid in my DMs and was like, this had happened, basically like what it said, in the earliest stages during season 1. I know a lot of people say, so why is he speaking now? Why do anybody speak? We're gonna get into the Nick Carter thing where people are gonna say the same thing. Well, why did he go and wait until, or this girl go wait 20 damn years to come out and say that she was allegedly raped by Nick Carter? We're gonna get into that tea after this story because it flows into the next topic. But so I was like, when this accusation came out, so I basically, he told me a whole bunch of stuff. I'm not going to get into the details of what exactly he said to me behind the scenes because that's neither here nor there, and that's not a lot of people's business. However, and I don't know if he would want me to share any of the other personal stuff, but I will say this. I did invite him. I did put out the olive branch that you feel comfortable enough that you want to come and be on the show and tell your side of the story. You can, you know, the door is always open. I said the same thing about Shangela. If Shangela wants to come and tell her side of the story, it don't have to necessarily be with me, but any other outlet. I'm waiting for the gay blogs and all these other places. I'm waiting for Out Magazine and The Advocate and all these other people to come out and ask her. So if it gets big to the point where he did say that he's speaking to the police, there may be a lawsuit filed and all that other stuff. So I'll allude to that. But when he's ready to speak out, I'm going to say it like Morpheus said to Neo in The Matrix. I can only show you the door. He's the one that has to walk through it. So whenever he's ready to do what he needs to do, he can be able to do that. But to wrap this all up, because I don't want to spend too much time on it, I said what I said in the video. I put it out there. We should have the right as curious people or reporters or bloggers, influencers, whatever the case is. When a story like this comes out about our community, we should be asking the question of, shouldn't it be investigated regardless of the situation? I don't know if it's true. I don't know if it's not true, but we should be able to sit and ask the question. Is someone like this capable of this? Because y'all say this about a lot of people. Oh, they don't look like they would hurt a fly and this and that. Then they said the same shit about Norman Bates. And we saw what happened with that. He dressed up in drag and was killing people. I know it's a movie, but I'm just saying, sometimes you never know what people are capable of in a situation. Serial killers, sociopaths, we always hear they was charming. Then they said the same shit about Jeffrey Dahmer. Oh, he looked like he wouldn't hurt nobody. He wasn't a problem. Mind you, we had all kinds of smells coming from his apartment. Anyway, that's just going to a whole nother direction. But I just wanted to say, so I'm going to keep abreast of this story. I'm going to keep doing it. And I'm going to do what I always do. When shit come out, I don't care who it is. If a story comes out that needs to be addressed and needs to be told or whatever the situation is, I'm going to speak on it. And I'm going to ask the questions. Because that's what we should do. Because we don't address situations enough about sexual abuse in the gay community, abuse in the gay community, meaning physical abuse, domestic violence, all of that stuff. I was going to get into the topic about Rico Pruitt and the whole situation that was going on with him and Fame, and the story that Nico Aesthetics put out about Notorious Big, who I did a blind item on him and his drug addiction. If y'all follow me on Facebook, you know what I'm talking about. And him beating on his exes and then putting that shit on Twitter. I was going to do that story, but I feel like the domestic violence in the gay community, I feel like that topic is something that needs to be a separate story, like a special on the line that we should do, and I'll bring it up and I'll address it in that time. I don't know when I'm going to do the topic, but I need to gather all my ducks in a row and get all my bullet points together before I tackle this thing, because it is definitely something that is not talked about enough in our community, and I feel like it is something that we need to all jump on. So to wrap this up, I also want to say this. I don't like the fact that people are so quick to, because like what Sailor Mermaid is saying, he says, I agree we should all ask questions and gather research before jumping to conclusions. I totally agree with that, because I had somebody who slid in the comments on my YouTube page when with the video that I did, that I reposted the video of Shangela, and they said this too. They don't like the fact that people were jumping to conclusions and people were so quick to attack Shangela over these accusations when you don't necessarily know it's true. And I said the same thing. We don't necessarily know this true. This person is putting out the accusation. We have to stop with the crucifying of people and the guilty before proven innocent. But not addressing it kind of does make it a problem. Like, you just thinking if I don't bring it up, it goes away. So I'm going to keep my eye and my ear close to the streets with this story. And Daniel, when you're ready to come on and talk about this situation, because I got thick skin. I don't give a damn what people say. I'm going to still say regardless. But, because, growing up in New York City, I definitely, my skin is made of concrete, bitch. Like, nothing can penetrate this goddamn flesh of mine with whatever people got to say. So whenever, Dan, you are ready to come on and speak your mind, the door is always open. Now, speaking of abuse, the Carter and all that good stuff, I wasn't going to talk about it initially, but then when more stuff started coming out, I was like, damn, I got to address it. And I know I probably put production through the ringer because, not no damn blubber skin, bitch. I know I put production through the ringer when I was like coming up with the topic, because I already initially had the topics, but things weren't sitting right with me. And a lot of times there would be those times where I would literally go in and be like 5 hours before the show is gonna go on live. I'd be like, you know what? Something ain't sitting right. Like, something done came out. I gotta add this. I gotta take this out. I gotta move this around. It just be a whole situation. But it happens with live stuff. You gotta be on your toes. And my brain always runs a mile a minute. But anyway, I'm rambling. Back to the show. So, you should talk about we're getting messages in the inbox for the charity show for Aaron Carter. Who was getting messages in the inbox for the charity show? I'm confused by that story. But anyway, Wendy Williams' successor. Well, if you believe Kempire, he the successor, ain't he? Well, I'm gonna read her later. So stay tuned for that. Because bitches out here like trying to steal my damn bits and things. But I'm jumping the boom boom gun, in the words of Gia Gunn. So anyway, back to the show. Even though, Nick Carter's been going through it, this, that, the third. So let's talk about Nick Carter and all this other stuff. I wasn't initially going to talk about this story, but it was so much going on with this thing and the whole thing about Jingle Ball, which he just performed at in New York City. So they didn't cancel that. But then when I heard about the whole special with Disney, that they canceled his Christmas special, I was like, we got to talk about it. So even though Backstreet Boys just performed at Z100's Jingle Ball in New York City, ABC has opted not to air their upcoming Christmas special featuring the Backstreet Boys after member Nick Carter was hit with rape allegations. Now, shout out to Variety for this story. A very Backstreet holiday, the Backstreet Boys Christmas special, filmed this month in Los Angeles, will no longer air on ABC, Variety has confirmed. The news comes amid allegations that singer Nick Carter raped a 17-year-old girl during the band's 2001 tour. Now, the special was set to air on ABC on December 14th, featuring Carter, AJ McLean, Kevin Richardson, Brian Luttrell, with his receded-ass hairline, and Howie Doro as they celebrate the season and perform hits from their 10th album, A Very Backstreet Christmas. I forgot all about that damn album. Seth Rogen, Meghan Trainor, Rob Riggle, Nikki Glazer, Ron Funches, and Atsuko Okatsuka were scheduled to appear. Now, on Thursday, a 39-year-old woman, Shannon Shea Ruth, filed a sexual battery lawsuit accusing the singer of raping her and infecting her with HPV when she was 17. The alleged assault took place in February 2001 following a Backstreet Boys concert in Tacoma, Washington. Ruth, who identified herself as autistic and living with cerebral palsy, detained the alleged assault along with her attorneys during a press conference held at Los Angeles Beverly Hilton Hotel. Now, I should say that, she basically said that Carter, who was 21 at the time, forced himself on her as she begged him to stop, and later allegedly told her that she was a R little bitch. And you know what the R means. That's that word with people with disabilities. I ain't saying that on the E2. With no one would believe it if she spoke up. Now, Carter has denied the claims. Now, his attorney said the following, because it's fair that we speak, what their attorney said. This claim about an incident that supposedly took place more than 20 years ago is not only legally meritless, but also entirely untrue, Carter's attorney, Michael Holt, said in a statement to Variety. Unfortunately, for several years now, Miss Ruth has been manipulated into making false allegations about Nick, and those allegations have changed repeatedly and materially over the time. No one should be fooled by a press stunt orchestrated by an opportunistic lawyer. There is nothing to this claim whatsoever, which we have no doubt the courts will quickly realize. Now, what I find weird about this whole thing is, why is ABC so quick to pull the plug on stuff without the whole case being tried or whatever the case is? So automatically ABC's like, we don't want no part of this. I guess maybe because ABC is under so much scrutiny already, with them two idiots, TJ Holmes, the white black man, what I like to call him, the Lester Holt or the Bryant Gumbel, and then Amy Robach, the bootleg white woman that he just hunched because he can't find nobody hotter. Oh yeah, I was gonna actually bring that up, that because David was telling me that the Nick Carter is scheduled to make an appearance at Heart and WeHo. Oh my God, which is Lance Bass's club. I remember the other club that he had that was in West Hollywood. I forgot the name of it because I used to, when I lived in LA, I used to go by there all the time. Never been in there though. But Heart, I heard, is a cute club. They get a lot of celebrity appearances. Cardi B, a bunch of people have been there. But yeah, so ABC's already under a lot of scandal with everything that's going on, and I guess Kim Godwin and the rest of them ain't trying. Rockos, thank you. So which is a cute spot, I should say, by the way. One of the things, I used to live for West Hollywood. West Hollywood has some cute spots, bitch. Trust and believe. But anyway, what I don't get is that, okay, so I guess I get it because they're trying to protect themselves and cover their ass because ABC is tired of the drama and tired of the damn scandals. So what y'all gonna do? Dump it on Hulu? Or not show it at all? Quiet as it's kept, I hate Christmas specials. I hate the singing song. Like, Christmas is my least favorite holiday. And I guess you can call me a Grinch or a Scrooge. I don't give a damn. But Christmas has never been my favorite holiday. My favorite holiday has always been Halloween. That's my shit right there. Because, that's a lot of time when the first time drag queens start out dressing in drag. And I guess because gays we get to dress up and it's so much fun and all this stuff. Everybody knows Christmas is Mariah Carey's holiday. So we let her have them 31 days and then we just put her back in the box and move on and leave her for another 11 months. So I don't know what to say about this because it's like, I like Nick Carter. I love the Backstreet Boys. People gave me shit because I said the Backstreet Boys was better than NSYNC. They had bigger and better bops. Trust and believe, like, I truly believe that. Y'all can say whatever y'all want. I don't give a good goddamn. I will always be a BSB over an NSYNCer. First of all, NSYNC only put out a couple of albums and never got back together. The BSB has been together for almost 30 damn years, making music still. They realize they're better together than apart. It's like Justin Timberlake left the group and all of a sudden the rest of them can't function without him. But at least the Backstreet Boys has got it together like Escape could never do. They understand that they're better together than apart. And the Backstreet Boys have always been more the equivalent of Boys to Men, meaning they were all about the harmonizing and the vocals and sounding really in sync rather than being like, oh, I'm a solo star. Like, y'all better together. I am joking. I love Mariah. First of all, Mariah was like when I was in school, and this would be telling my age, child. I was in middle school when Mariah's first album came out. And and my teacher made me actually a copy of her debut album on cassette. Mm-hmm. So mother has lived. And yeah, so I do live for Mariah. Like, Mariah has always been like one of my top divas. So yes, I'm joking. You'll know, trust and believe. You'll know if I dislike somebody. Y'all will definitely know on this show if I don't like a specific artist. I throw shade at everybody. Like, I'm an equal opportunity offender. That's what people have to learn when they come a part of this show. Explain what cassette is to Gen Z. We'll be here all day. Cassettes came before CDs. That would be compact discs. Compact discs came before the internet, meaning like not the internet, but basically like streaming and all that other stuff. Like before Spotify, there was Napster. He said don't say fish. Oh, that's an inside joke if y'all been watching Canada versus the World, because apparently calling someone fish is offensive. Fish. I say fish all goddamn day. And aren't they actually bringing back cassettes? I did notice that cassettes are kind of becoming a trend again. As just like vinyl, like everything old is new again, because I've noticed that there have been certain artists that are putting things on cassette again. Robert says they have cassettes now. I own the original Spice World, and the Spice World, you know, he is obsessed with the Spice Girls. That's the one thing I love about Robert. Like, he loves the Spice Girls. The Spice Girls was actually, I remember when that album first came out, and I was like, I had to beg my parents to drive me to the store to get that damn CD when it first came out. Oh yeah, Lizzo's new album came out. That's what I said. Like, a lot of the old school people are bringing back cassettes. Like Taylor Swift is bringing back cassettes. Lizzo's doing cassettes. I'm noticing a lot of artists are dropping things on vinyl. I'm actually going to bring up Taylor Swift in one of the stories that pertains to a specific topic. I'm not going to talk specifically about Taylor Swift as like a big story, but there's something that she's going to be put in the conversation. So be in tune for that. But to wrap this up, definitely Nick Carter. I'll be keeping an eye on this story as it develops. We don't know if it's true, like I said, but anytime somebody put out an allegation of sexual assault, it should be investigated. If he does show up at Heart, let me know, and I'll bring it up on the show. Now, let's get to this Brittney Griner story. She's a free woman. In the words of Lady Gaga, she's a free woman. I'm a free woman. Okay, so let's focus. Brittney Griner is a free woman and says she's happy to be as free as the breeze that's flowing on these sheets and these tits and everything else that comes with this body. Okay, let me stop being silly and just... Okay, so now, yes, Brittney's free. I'm happy for her, but apparently a lot of people aren't, because I remember there was a video that T.S. Madison did earlier, and I live for her. She did a video where some lady was mad, big mad, and there's a lot of black women that are mad over the fact that Brittney Griner is free. First of all, y'all homophobia is showing, and it's obvious. But I'm glad, like I said, I'm glad the lady's free. It's been a long time coming. She's been detained in Russia for over 10 months. She's going to serve a 9-year sentence. And to me, I feel like she shouldn't have been detained in the first place. Not for no small-ass ounce of weed, but we knew what it was. They were trying to make an example of her because Putin was upset over America siding with Ukraine, which he's losing this battle over there. I don't know why he's still trying to proceed with this whole war that's going on over there. So new footage that was released by Russian media shows the WNBA star's final moments in Russia before her release on Thursday. She said, "I'm good," and Griner, who is 32, while aborting the aircraft on her way home. When asked what her mood was, she says, "I'm happy. Yes, I'm ready," Griner told officials aboard the plane when asked if she was ready for the flight. Griner appeared relieved as she was seen reviewing paperwork in the first moments of the video. Next, she's shown outdoors holding luggage as she stands next to Russian prison guards and gets into a van before she's seen on the plane. Now, for those of you who are living under a rock, Griner, who was sentenced to 9 years in a Russian prison on drug smuggling charges, was released in a 1-for-1 prison swap for international arms dealer. Oh, that music is gone loud in my ear all of a sudden, and it's drowning me out. So basically, as I was saying, was released in a 1-for-1 prisoner swap for international arms dealer Victor Bout on Thursday, CBS News reported. So, congratulations to her. Wait, turn the music down. It's so loud. Thank you. Driving me out, girl. Do you think because of this is why Putin changed the law again about LGBT people? Did he? I don't know. I don't follow the politics over in Russia. All I know is if I'm a big old homosexual, my ass is not getting on no plane to go to Russia because y'all just gonna imprison my ass for no damn reason. It's like you can sneeze in the wrong direction and all of a sudden they lock your ass up. That's like asking me, am I gonna go to North Korea? Hell no. There's certain places that I know that I'm just not gonna go. But I would have to say it's not the same thing as, like, I remember when we were having a conversation and David was telling me that people were dragging Laganja for going overseas. The House of Edwards is back together, in case y'all didn't know. Laganja, Shangela, and Alyssa Edwards went overseas. I forget exactly which, and you can tell me in the comments, David, what exactly they went, which Muslim country they went to. Where people was getting on her talking about, do you know the politics and they're homophobic and da-da-da-da. And I'm like, are you not aware that a lot of these places that are oppressed have fans and are fans of drag queens and certain performers, and that even though you don't agree with the politics of the politicians who are dictating or casting a dictation over these celebrities, that they're going there to show their love and support for the fans? So I don't get why y'all try to inject your politics. First of all, if y'all need to worry about doing stuff for yourselves instead of worrying about what these people is doing. And what I feel the main conversation, to get back to Brittney Griner, is the fact that it's crazy how a female athlete of her stature, or female athletes in general, have to run over to another country to get paid paid a smidgen. Oh yeah, we'll get to the clip in a minute. But to get paid a smidgen of what a LeBron James or somebody gets just playing in America. How we don't value female athletes the same way we do the male athletes. And for people to sit up in here and run and fix their fucking mouth, because I gotta pull this damn tweet up. For people to fix their goddamn mouth and talk about, well, how come she did the crime, she do the time, and she took all this weed over there and that. First of all, bitch, it was 0.7 grams of THC. That's nothing if you know anything about fucking weed. And got a 9 years goddamn sentence. Mind you, there was this white chick named Audrey Lauber, who was 19 years old, from America, that was arrested in Russia with 19 grams of THC. She was released in 2 months. So, and I remember, I think The View talked about that too. So if y'all want to sit up and talk about, it's not about race, it's not about racism, homophobia, gender discrimination, all that shit is global. So David says, under the new law, individuals can be fined up to $6,370 for LGBT propaganda and up to $3,185 for demonstrations of LGBT and information that encourages a change of gender among teenagers. Ciao. And he was also saying something, what was this other one? They can't show decorative pride stuff of any kind. So if y'all go over to Russia and they decide that they want to hang a pride flag outside their home or in their window, or maybe wear, like, some of the gay shirts I'll be wearing on this show. New York 1987, even though the whiting is faded because I had the shirt for a long damn time. This is basically the opening of Paris is Burning. New York, 1987. Okay, if y'all knew that, but yes, I do reference a lot of gay-isms and stuff in the clothes that I wear. I wear my faggotry proud, honey. Okay, my flame burns bright everywhere I go. Oh yeah, I did hear about that today, that a journalist died supporting LGBTQ rights in Qatar. So there is a lot of craziness that goes on, and people think like, we still have a long way to go in regards to the fight, especially overseas. They have it worse than us. Yeah, we got to worry about militias attacking drag queens, but we're going to get to that topic later on, because we got a story about how the Drag Race girls had to beef up security due to being discriminated, due to what these damn, what is it? Hey, Adam Barta. Remember when I interviewed him a couple months ago, but glad to see you in the room. But anyway, and congratulations on the show that is doing really well, by the way. But also, what was I saying? Oh, so yeah, we have a long way to go in regards to our fight with the discrimination, this, that, and the other. But yeah, so shout out to Brittney Griner. To really sum up my feelings about this whole thing, I want to play this clip from Mark Lamont Hill, who basically just summed up my entire thoughts about why people have an issue with Brittney Griner, and it just goes to show that y'all homophobia is quite apparent, because y'all think just because a girl is an AG or a stud, as we like to call butch lesbians, studs, just because she's a stud. Are we gonna actually play the Adam Barta interview on Christmas weekend, just so you know? But yeah. So I want to play this clip because I feel like it really sums up my thoughts on this whole thing. Roll the clip. It's the music.
I want to have a word with all of you who are upset that Brittney Griner was released. I want you to ask yourself, why? Why weren't you upset that she had to be in Russia in the first place because WNBA players are paid so little that they have to do 2 jobs, 2 seasons, and 2 continents just to make a living?
Mm-hmm. And it was a longer video. I forget where it was that, but yeah, it's like that. These are the questions that we have to think about. It's like, okay, like the fact of the matter is, we need to pay these female athletes a livable wage, where they don't have to go into these dangerous countries with their ridiculous policies and try to make ends meet. And just because you don't agree with American policies, you want to make an example out of someone like a Brittney Griner, who is pretty famous for many reasons. But I digress. We're going to keep a track of this story as it develops, because this is a happy ending. But you know what? There's some things that Brittney is going to have to deal with. Like coming back from Russia and dealing with all the traumatic shit that went on over there. I'm sure now that Brittney's home with her wife, in the comfort of her bed, she's probably going to have to undergo some therapy. Because the mental health after that, the PTSD, that's something that we should be discussing, that she's going to have to deal with. And the treatment and when she does that interview, really having someone go in and ask those questions of how, as a Black lesbian woman, the treatment and what it was like being in a Russian prison, like going through that whole situation. So to wrap this up, David says that was like that on We're Here, the first episode where there was a threat to drag story time. Mm-hmm. Sailor Mermaid says, it's clear that when it comes to Black people who non-Black folks believe in their views, step out of line when they want to punish us more to set an example. All right, so let's move on and let's get into this whole shakeup that's going on over at DC, because, child, it is a mess over there. So in a move that no one saw coming, now that James Gunn and Peter Safran have officially become the Kevin Feige of Warner Brothers, the duo have decided not to move forward with Patty Jenkins' treatment of Wonder Woman 3. Now, this story comes from Deadline, but I should say the Hollywood Reporter broke the story. So I got to give credit where it's due. You know, unlike some people, I cite my sources. Yeah, it's gonna be a sporadic read throughout the show. The filmmaker was expected to hand in the screenplay, and instead the new bosses got pieces of paper that just weren't suitable. Now, that's what they're saying, but from what I heard, oh no, not Brittney Griner, it's we on to Warner Brothers Wonder Woman. But what I heard was that Patty Jenkins had a treatment for Wonder Woman 3, presented it to the execs over at at Warner Brothers. They did not like where the script was heading in regards of the third part of the Wonder Woman film, and gave notes and asked Patty to make some changes. She was trying to stick to her guns. She refused and decided to walk. Patty has not been having the greatest of times. I understand that Warner Brothers has been putting her through it. Now, don't get me wrong. The first Wonder Woman I absolutely loved. Hated. And you know, hate's a strong word for me, child. Could not stand Wonder Woman 1984. When I watched it, I'm like, what is this shit? It was literally a total 360 from what we had already seen in the first one. I love the balance of the first one, the fish out of water, the comedy, the action. It was just all, it was well-rounded. Then I'm watching this movie, I'm like, what is all this foolishness in it? It's literally like, to make a perfect example, it's kind of like watching Thor Ragnarok and really just like get like, oh my God, finally a Thor movie I absolutely love. And then y'all drop Love and Thunder. And I'm like, what the fuck is this shit? And I'm still mad because I saw it in the damn thing. David went and asked me to go and go see it. And damn, I always forget the name. When you watch on the screen and it comes out on the walls, the type of theater that it goes in. I saw it at where the hell did I see it? I saw it at Regal. And I watched it. I'm like, yeah, I thought it was gonna be like Ragnarok. So I'm watching this movie and I'm like, the silliness was too much. I just did not like the cheated Screen X. Thank you, because I always forget what it's called. So I finally saw the Screen X. First of all, I'm still mad because I spent damn near $30 on one damn ticket just to see it in there. And then when I watched it, don't get me wrong, I like the fact that it popped out on the sides on the wall and it looked really good. The effects look amazing. Teetered too much on the con. But anyway, and that's kind of what I felt about Wonder Woman. I felt like they just teetered too much on the lovey-dovey romantic stuff. And honestly, I'm one of those type of fanboys. I hate romance in comic book movies. I hated it when it was in the CW. So it's not just, I'm one of those typical nerdy fans that just be like, oh, well, I don't like any kind of, no. I'm all for, I love strong female characters. I love a female superhero. I definitely want another Wonder Woman movie. But I guess we're not gonna do that. We're just not gonna get it with Patty Jenkins. But I just don't like when movies spend too much time on like the romance and stuff. I need superheroes to be superheroes. Now, if y'all have like those little moments, it's fine. But I don't need it to dominate because I kind of feel like it pulls away from the story. I think it's kind of what ruined Arrow. Arrow was such a good show until they started getting this whole thing with him and Felicity. But it does pertain to DC, so I guess still. Yes, I'm into hunching. Like, get to the fucking already. I don't care about all the romance stuff. So they also said all this goes down a day after a curious tweet from Wonder Woman star Gal Gadot, who thanked fans and told them, can't wait to share her next chapter with you. Now, she also said it's an obvious sign that Gunn and Safran wanted to start anew and clear that Warner Brothers decks of the previous Zack Snyder designed DC franchises. What's next? A complete recasting of key DC superheroes? That said, the duo haven't made it known to studio insiders what their grand design is for other DC characters. This take on Wonder Woman 3 just wasn't suitable at this time. And we should also point out that, after she posted that, they were talking about that Jenkins was going to hand another take, but I'm hearing she walked away. She's not, she's no longer attached to that. She was supposed to do a Cleopatra movie with Gal Gadot. That's not happening. She was also supposed to do a Star Wars thing with Warner. I mean, not Marvel, Warner Brothers. Well, Marvel is a part of Disney. I hear that's not happening either. So I don't know what's going on. It's like a lot of projects she had in development just went by the wayside. Now, we do know that, what also hurt 1984 was the whole day and date thing that they had over at HBO Max. They released it the same day. Also, they've gone through 3 regime changes since she put out the first Wonder Woman movie. So there's been a lot of changes going on behind the scenes, and they're trying to get everything together. Then you had Dwayne Johnson, who's Black Adam, no shade, did not do well financially at the box office. I know he's trying to say otherwise, but your movie has yet to break even. It's barely made even. And I should also point out, while, it was in the movies for probably a month and a half, then it wound up on demand. But guess what? If you have HBO Max, you can watch Black Adam next Friday when it comes out on the 16th. So it's already done in the theaters. It's done on demand. Now it's being rushed to HBO Max. So if you want to watch it on HBO Max a million times, you can wait till the 16th and see it. I don't think the Imagine thing had anything to do with that. But So Deadline is saying that the pick is going to be the movie Black Adam's going to be in the black. Though it wasn't a big winner, many were expecting. No word whether a sequel or a Hawkman spinoff will happen, despite the intentions for them. So Dwayne had to go on social media because people were saying his movie did not do really well. I mean, it didn't do Black Panther Wakanda Forever numbers. So far, Wakanda Forever has grossed over $800 million at the box office. So it's close to $1 billion. That's in like less than 2 months. But Black Adam's yet to break even, and I get it. It's a new IP. This is a brand new superhero. A lot of people weren't familiar with him. But I'm going to be honest. Black Adam had its problems. There were certain plot points that made no sense. You find a cave. There's a crown floating in the middle of the air that all I had to do was jump up and grab it, and I've all of a sudden got this crown. Then to let Black Adam out of his prison, you basically just leave the writing on the ground, and all I have to do is recite it, and he comes to. Like, it didn't make no damn sense. A lot of the plot points in the movie, it was just dumb. But I will say this: even though some of the decisions and the plot points were stupid, the people in the film, Aldous Hodge sold it for me. Pierce Brosnan did an amazing job. Noah Centineo is definitely some eye candy, who I actually thought would make a good, like, if they decide to get rid of Henry Cavill as Superman, if he doesn't come back, I think Noah Centineo should be like the new Superman. If they decide to not go with this other sequel to Black Adam, whatever the case is, I thought he kind of has that. He kind of has a Superman look. But so he said budget was $230 million. They made $380 worldwide. That's still not breaking even. Like, you have to, if you're gonna do $230 million, you have to at least, I would think, gross. Oh, I love Noah Centineo too. He was supposed to play He-Man in the reboot of Masters of the Universe, and that never materialized. But yeah, if the budget was $230 million, it would have to, even, because you have to think about the budget plus the marketing, and I'm sure the marketing was like $100 million. So that's 230 plus 100. Is that like 330? Close to $400 million. We'll say $400 million. So it's got to at least make, I would think, $600 million to break even. That's what I'm thinking. But 380, and I don't even think it's been dropped. I don't even think it's been released in, has it been released in China? Is it getting a China release? Because a lot of times, well, not necessarily. Well, the marketing is not necessarily in the budget. It's it's they always put the budget for the movie, and then you have a separate thing to market the film. So it has to make a certain amount to make even. It's funny how Robert said that when I didn't even read his comment. He said, wasn't Noah supposed to be in He-Man and got ripped for Netflix to cancel it because of Kevin Smith pissing He-Man fan? Was Kevin Smith supposed to direct? But anyway, he says, well, they're saying that James Cameron needs $2 billion for Avatar. I think that's a high number. I don't think he necessarily needs $2 billion. I would love to know the budget of this new Avatar movie, so that way we could talk numbers. But I'm assuming he's got to have to at least gross $800 million to break even. I'm thinking it's within that ballpark. But anyway. So Dwayne Johnson said, waited to confirm with finances before I share this excellent hashtag Black Adam news. Our film will profit between $52 million to $72 million. Fact, at almost $400 million worldwide, we are building our new franchise step by step. First Captain America did $370 million for the DC future. Well, it's funny how you're trying to compare your movie to Captain America, but you have to realize that when Captain America first came out, you know how long ago that was? When it came to when Captain America came out versus how you're trying to compare yourself. Well, the thing is, Chris Evans was well known, but he wasn't like this big star that he is now when he was playing this character. We know him as Johnny Storm. We know other stuff. So I don't know if you could compare. I understand he's probably trying to say because the first IP film, so we're trying to compare it to that, but I don't think you can compare situations. I feel like it's apples and oranges. Dwayne Johnson is a well-known movie star, and they expected, because he's Dwayne Johnson, that he was going to sell this movie. Even though 9 times out of 10, I can say this: I had no idea what Black Adam was about. I watched the movie and I still don't know. And I've seen it twice. Fell asleep on it the second time. But I still can't tell you what it's about. But I hope Black Adam gets another shot. I really feel like, because, David Zaslav and not Kevin Feige. Well, I'm thinking about Disney. So all these people, Peter Safran, James Gunn, all of them being a part of DC. Let's give them a moment to figure out exactly what they're going to do before we jump to conclusions and say, well, this is getting canceled, they're getting canceled. Why did Henry Cavill? Why did they say he's coming back when they never said that? And it's, when they're going to get rid of him, and it's like, Henry Cavill said that he was coming back as Superman. DC never said that. He went on social media and was like, I'm back as Superman. And technically he was, when he played, when he started in the post-credit scene for Black Adam. He came back as Superman. Maybe that was the first, maybe that was the last time, or maybe he will be coming back. We don't know. We have to give, the new regime a chance to figure out where they're going to take DC, because quiet as it's kept, DC has been a disaster since they started. What Zack Snyder set up for the universe has not worked for the DCU. The DCU has not given what it's been given. I loved the 4-hour Justice League. I've watched it twice, but it didn't make any money. I love Man of Steel, but it wasn't the big blockbuster that Warner Brothers hoped for. Their biggest film so far, I believe, was Aquaman, and it was Wonder Woman. Not in that order, but it was those movies. So I have to restructure things. I'm hearing so many great things, regardless of how you feel about what the hell was that boy name? The non-binary child, Ezra Miller. No matter how you feel about him, them, they, them pronouns. Remind myself. No matter how you feel about them, they're still going forward with this movie, and it has yet to come out, so we don't know how that is. Shazam's supposed to be coming out. I just heard that they were supposed to be doing a they're supposed to do a Batman Beyond movie. I just heard that was canceled. Jeff Snyder from Collider, ooh, that rhymes, spilled that tea. They're supposed to do a Batman Beyond movie with Michael Keaton. They were talking about it was modern day, but no, if you're gonna do Batman Beyond, it's gotta be in the future. You can't do it modern present day. And then the rumor was they were going to bring Catwoman. So the rumor was Michelle Pfeiffer might be coming back. And we still haven't gotten a proper sequel to Batman Returns. That's like one of my favorite Batman movies. So there's a lot going on. I really feel like they're trying to capitalize on the recent movie, The Batman, with Robert Pattinson. They're trying to capitalize on that whole idea. That was a great movie. That's like one of my favorite Batman movies that's come out in a while, because it's captured the detective Batman, the Batman I've always wanted to see. But before we go, I do want to read what James Gunn said, because he took to Twitter and he basically addressed a lot of the comments that people have been saying about, well, it's going to be a disaster, and so on and so forth. I trusted James Gunn. I'm a James Gunn fan. Slither is one of my favorite movies of his. I also am a huge, he's a great screenwriter too. Like, he's written a lot of good movies that I absolutely love. I also love his Guardians of the Galaxy films, even the Christmas special. If y'all have not seen that Christmas special that he just did, it's 49 minutes. It's a great Christmas, and I can't stand Christmas specials. Okay, that was loud again. So he put, although this first month at DC has been fruitful, building the next 10 years of story takes time, and we're still just beginning. So as for the story yesterday in the Hollywood Reporter, some of it is true, some of it is half true, some of it is not true, and some of it, whether it's true or not. He also went on to say, Peter and I chose to helm DC Studios, knowing we were coming into a fractious environment, both of the stories being told and in the audience itself, and there would be an unavoidable transitional period as we moved into telling a cohesive story across film, TV, animation, and gaming. And then he also said, but in the end, It doesn't really matter. Okay, that was Linkin Park. But in the end, the drawbacks of that transitional period were dwarfed by the creative possibilities and the opportunity to build upon what has worked in DC so far and to help rectify what has not. We know we're not going to make every single person happy every step of the way, but we can promise everything we do is done with the service of the story and in the service of the DC characters we know you cherish and we have cherished our whole lives. And last and certainly not least, he says, as for more answers about the future of the DCU, I will sadly have to ask you to wait. We are giving these characters and the stories the time and attention they deserve, and we ourselves still have a lot more questions to ask and answer. Well, you know what? DC, HBO Max, they're all undergoing an overhaul. A lot of changes was happening. You know, we're going to talk about Legendary being canceled. I just heard that they canceled a lot of shows. I heard The Hype was canceled too over at HBO Max. I think it was a bunch of stories. I hope I can find it in time. I probably won't be able to. But, oh yeah. So was The Hype was canceled. Issa Rae's series Sweet Life Los Angeles was canceled. Gordita Chronicles was canceled after one season. And like I said, The Hype and Legendary. So all those shows are pretty much, you know, HBO was going through a whole overhaul. Warner Brothers is trying to figure out cutting these expensive competition shows that aren't really bringing in revenue and ratings and money. So there's a whole situation that's happening. I know we're all going to be a little disappointed, a little sad. I'm hoping we get a Wonder Woman movie. I hope we get another Superman movie. But if they don't, and if it helps the story in some sort of way, if we can get some new IP out there and some new stories being told, oh no, they haven't been making a lot of money because apparently the last regime was cooking the books. That's another story that came out. So I'm going to keep you guys abreast of the story because we could go on and on about this, and I got a lot of other topics to get to. We're already an hour in. I've only gotten to like 3 stories. So, yes, I would definitely keep you guys abreast of this story as it develops. So now, child, this is a lot with this next topic. Because we got to talk about Wendy Williams. How you doing? I keep telling you, I got to do that every time I say Wendy Williams. So, child, I thought like we was already in the clear. Like we didn't have to worry about no drama coming out of her family. Well, Superman Returns was way before all the other stuff. That was eons ago with Brandon Routh. And I did love him on Legends of Tomorrow. But anyway, back to Wendy Williams. So I thought we was all in the clear. Like she was out of rehab. She was getting herself together. She was going to worry about the podcast. She was going to do all this stuff and get her life together. But then she got these thorns in her ass. That'd be her family. Tommy out here running his mouth. We got Kelvin singing out here trying to act like he built the house that Wendy has created. That, you know, he acts like he is literally Geppetto and Wendy's Pinocchio. Like she ain't got no damn mind and brain of her own. Mind you, he was out here hunching this heifer, Sharina, his lady, as he calls her, for 15 years of his marriage with his wife. But he was basically hunching other women throughout their marriage. Quiet as his cat. But we're going to get that in a second. But first, this tea came out. I was like, God damn. So there was a story that came out about Wendy Williams' son, Kelvin Jr., being evicted from a $2 million Miami apartment. Now, first of all, I know a lot of y'all are saying, why does a 22-year-old have, who is, by the way, 22, he's the same damn age as my goddaughter. Actually, no, that's not true. She's actually a year older. She's 23. She was born in 1999. Anyway, so I know a lot of people say, what is a 22-year-old doing with a damn $2 million apartment in Miami? But that's none of my business. That's rich people problems. If my mother wants to buy me a $2 million apartment in Miami, who am I to judge? Okay? So Kelvin Hunter isn't the only one suffering from financial woes because his 22-year-old son with ex-wife Wendy Williams, was evicted from his $2 million apartment in Miami after his mother was cut off from her finances and couldn't pay his rent. Kevin Jr., whose name is on the lease, was hit with a lawsuit seeking $70,000 in back rent that goes as far back as February of this year. Now, this comes from the Sun. Actually, all these stories come from the Sun because apparently the Williams household, all their tea gets told to the Sun before they told everybody else. Now, the eviction suit, which was filed in August, includes a copy of Kelvin Jr.'s lease, which shows Wendy paid for a full year in advance, as well as security deposit and other fees. Now, Wendy dropped over $100,000 on the apartment for her 22-year-old son for the first year of the lease, which started in March of 2021 and ended in February, with Kelvin agreeing to continue to rent the apartment on a monthly basis after the lease term had passed. Now, the U.S. Sun previously exclusively reported that Wendy's Wells Fargo account were frozen in January of this year, which lines up with when the overdue rent began to pile up, as mentioned in Kevin's eviction lawsuit. Now, in his response to the lawsuit, Kelvin told the court that his famous mother rented the apartment for him. He said that as the lease approached its end, my mom went through some health issues and put the court in control of her finances, and that all of the financial support that she always gave stopped, including his housing. Now, here's what he said. When I moved in, my mom, Wendy Hunter, rented the apartment for me, paying for a full year plus security, and added that she intended to purchase the home at the end of the lease. Kelvin also added that he is currently in school full-time, but had to take a full year off due to COVID and taking care of Wendy. For medical and legal reasons, she has not been able to pay the rent for the past month since the one-year lease ended and the court controlled her finances. Now, Wendy's only child also said that he has spent the past several months back and forth between states checking on my mom's well-being. The 22-year-old also added, everything happened very quickly and unexpectedly, and I had no idea things would end up like this, before adding that he would be moving out on September 7th. Now, Kelvin Jr. is not the only person whose living conditions have been impacted by Wendy's being placed under financial guardianship. Now, as the U.S. Sun reported last week, Kelvin Hunter Sr., Wendy's ex-husband, claimed he could face foreclosure if his alimony payments don't resume. Now, I do think it is absolutely crazy that this entire family solely depends on Wendy Williams' money to survive. Like, none of y'all can't go out and get a job. And it also goes to show that Kelvin, the father, he tried to act like that he built Wendy Williams. But I'm like, but you haven't had no success after. I'm jumping the gun with the Kelvin thing. We're going to get to that in a minute because he did an exclusive interview that we got to break down. There's a lot of tea up in it. So I don't want to jump to that in a second. What I want to do is start out on this Kevin Hunter thing. Now, I should say this, that Wendy has spoken out about this whole eviction because it happened in September, but we're finding out now in 3 months later, which I think is crazy. But then again, celebrity business, we don't need to be all up in it. Now, when it make news, we got to talk about it because that's what we do here. We address a lot of the drama and the tea and stuff. And it's unfortunate, like you would think that whoever the conservators were that are taking that are got Wendy's money all wrapped up in whatever, that they would at least take care of her son. Now, what's going on with Kelvin, the husband, and that little situation? Oh, we'll get to that in a second. When it comes to the whole Kelvin Hunter situation and him talking about that he needs the money that he's owed, and basically they had the deal that it said, like, if she stopped working and they stopped paying her because of this and this, that you either get a demotion in the payment or you don't get paid at all. You need to understand that. But you thought you was going to be out here laying low and spreading it wide and sleeping with Sharina and having a whole damn baby, and that you was going to be taken care of for the rest of your life. Because I'm going to definitely read y'all blow by blow of what was said, because it's a lot. But Wendy Williams has spoken out about the whole situation regarding her son being evicted. And this is basically the 58-year-old Gossip Queen's publicist, Sean Zanotti, confirmed to the Neighborhood Talk that Kelvin Jr. being evicted from his apartment has nothing to do with her client losing her fortune. Sean further highlighted that the former TV daytime queen is currently under conservatorship and cannot release funds without getting approval. Now, at this point, Wendy is under conservatorship that was ordered by a federal New York judge, Sean said in a statement. All expenses must be cleared by her guardian via the courts. There is a process where her expenses have to go through being verified and cleared before being paid. Now, Sean also went on to say that sometimes that process can take a while, which unfortunately could cause her to miss payment deadlines, such as her son Kevin's rent, saying Wendy's hands are tied and there is really nothing she could do right now. It's a process that tends to go beyond the deadline of certain invoices. She honestly can't do anything about that. It's really sad how some outlets take headlines and misconstrue information just to get clicks and likes. So like I said, in the situation before, that whoever is it, before I even read the statement, whoever is in charge of her finances should have at least made sure that her son was well taken care of, so that way he's not out here floundering in these streets and not working. Because apparently I heard rumors, and I don't know if it's true or not, that Wendy's son basically was using Wendy's credit card and bought up a whole apartment, this, that, and the third, and was spending Wendy money, and this, that, and that's why Wendy wasn't speaking to her son at one point. I don't necessarily know if it's true, but if her spokesperson's coming out making a statement, we got to take it as such. So I do feel me and her son right now. I want them two to get together, because you know what? That's her only child. If she wants to spoil him with a $2 million apartment and fancy cars, and this, that, and the third, that's her only child. Why not? I don't know if it kept. I don't even know what Kevin Jr. was studying for school, but he can't go work at a Dwayne Reed or a Shake Shack, and because y'all would clown him. Well, Wendy, why you got your son out here working a regular job? A lot of y'all out your mouth talking about why you don't go out and get a regular job. Then at the same time, you see him working a regular job and you gonna clown him. Remember when y'all did that to Elvin from the Cosby Show? Y'all saw him working at, what was it, Trader Joe's? And y'all clowned him. But he was like, you know what? I'm not working right now. I'm not acting. I got bills to pay. So work ain't honest, but it pays the bills. Is, the words of Erykah Badu. So it may not be what you see, because a lot of y'all think this fame, Hollywood, whatever is what it is. But let people be out here doing what they need to do with their money and mind your business. If Wendy wants to spend all this money on her child, let her do it. Shit, what the hell? I wonder what I would do if I had a $2 million, what was it, a condo? Had to be in Miami. But my thing is, if my mother's sick and I need to be close to her, I would not be flying back and forth from no damn Florida to no New York. I would actually relocate, go to school in New York. Like I don't know what he's studying, but I would have went to like an NYU or Columbia or something like that. Transferred a lot of my, grades and everything over there, just so I could be close to my mother and keep an eye on her. Move in the house with her, cut corners, cut down on the coin, so that way I could be near her and make sure that everything is what it needs to be. Because I don't know who these people are that's in Wendy's life, but I don't trust them all that much. And that's no shade, but just saying, like that would be me if it was my mother in this situation. And then once everything is cool and everything, then I can go back to living my life. But when you don't have anybody, like, what's going on with her siblings? Why I don't hear nothing from Wanda, her sister. I know the father's like 90 something, about to be 90. Is he 90? He's about to turn 90, I believe. So I know he's real old. So he can only do but so much. Tommy out here running his damn mouth. Maybe he needs to stop running his mouth to the press and actually go help his sister out. So the siblings need to get involved. I wonder where little Kevin's staying. I don't know where he's staying. Hopefully the family done stepped in. Because it's also been one, because Kelvin did say something or another he didn't know he could turn to. But I'm going to get to that in a second. So good luck to y'all. Hopefully everything works out. I'm sure little Kevin's not homeless. He's somewhere. They ain't really say where he at. But hopefully everything is working out for him in that whole situation. And I hope he works everything out with his mother. So now we're going to go from this story and let's get into this so we can wrap it up. Now, Kelvin Hunter is opening up about the split from his ex-wife and had the nerve to take credit for Wendy Williams' success. Now, days after news broke that Kelvin Hunter was looking to get his alimony payments reinstated or else face eviction, Wendy's no-good ex-husband sat down for an interview with the West Side Gazette, where he spilled the tea on how he and his wife ended their marriage and is taking credit for a lot of the Wendy Williams show's success. Now, here's a few interesting excerpts of the interview, which you can read on my website, but I'm going to read some of it to y'all. And I'm going to do it in my regular voice because I ain't going to try to do it in the Kelvin voice because I did it last week and I hurt my throat and I had to drink water. And you want to know something? Not only that, but I noticed there was another YouTuber that did the same goddamn move and thought I was going to find out about it. But you know what? When you fuck up and find out, you're going to find out. So, to know what I'm talking about, before we get to this redation, I want y'all to watch this clip and see if I'm bugging. Roll the clip. Because they said they cite their sources. You ain't cite me, though. Said, my car insurance has been paid as a result of not receiving monthly severance payments. Why do I sound like a cross between... well, that's kind of like what Kelvin sound like, right? But why I sound like I'm doing Macho Man Randy Savage and Herschel Walker. That's why I feel like anyway. Oh yeah. I'm behind. He said, I'm behind on credit card payments because I have no money since the severance payments were suspended. My life, okay, I gotta stop doing that thing because that's gonna mess up my voice and I have to get polyp surgery. Okay, so my life has been greatly affected since the plaintiff stopped making payments under our settlement agreement. And that's what he added. Wendy's attorney is pushing back on the claim, stating that Williams was 58, has not had a steady source of income from the Wendy Williams show since she stopped showing up for work in October.
Anytime he says yo, I'm going to put on his voice. My thing is this: with all the things she accomplished and as influential as she was, they chose to make everything about the scandal, the Lifetime movie and the documentary. It was all about the scandal, and that's pathetic. Ooh, I need a sip after that. Okay. So Kelvin continues and talks more about what happened once they decided to part ways, to divorce, and when he decided to, when he was pushed out or severed ties with the Wendy Williams show. He says Wendy was coming out of rehab. You may remember.
Imitation is a serious form of flattery, is what they say. And we both was sipping in that damn video, bitch. But remember, I posted it first. But, it's no shade. Just saying. Y'all may have the numbers, but girl, this shit here, this is natural. I don't need to steal from people. I don't need to, copy people's isms and say, so all this comes from this big ass forehead of mine. This big old dome, this brain. And it's a big one. Trust and believe. Yes, I read myself. I don't give a damn. So... but I am going to keep it cute because I do like Empire. So shout out to you, sir. But I'm just saying, cite your source is. So Kelvin Hunter said this. He said, we had a vision and I didn't want, this is what he was talking about coming up with the concept of the Wendy Williams show. He said, we had a vision and I didn't want anyone at the show messing up the vision. They couldn't hang money over our heads and tell us to just do something because we showed up with money. We were already iced out, already driving the Lamborghini and Ferrari and what have you. So their money didn't make us. We made us. So early on during production, Deb Mercury had no idea about the culture Wendy embodied. That culture that they used to frown on and say people didn't want to hear about hip-hop and all that. However, after a while, Hot Topics, which I created, sidebar, that's a damn lie. First of all, you did not create Hot Topics. Hot Topics is actually from The View, and I watched The View, so I know. He says, however, after a while, Hot Topics, which I created, became nothing about but about hip-hop artists. I told them quick that they were overkilling it and that Hot Topics had to be more defined, and we did that. So Wendy's credit, she was talented and had the longest monologue in TV, including daytime and nighttime. Wendy's monologue lasted between 18 to 24 minutes. That was almost the entire show. That's a long time just to be sitting in a chair talking. Yo, the purple chair was her idea, dope idea, and she held the audience for sure. When I look back at what we did for the entire decade, that makes me upset. But here's the thing: the reason why that it was extended to that long, because here's the thing: Wendy has a reputation where a lot of celebrities don't like her because she talks a lot about famous people. So therefore, they had to extend it to 18 to damn near half the show. And then they would do Ask Wendy. Then they would do the cooking segments. I watch Wendy's show daily. And the only time she was getting guests, she had to get reality stars. The Teresas and the Kenya Moores and all that stuff. Celebrities, big A-list celebrities was not fucking with Wendy. And you notice the difference because when you watch Sherry's show, Sherry's getting all the A-list celebrities to come on her show. Wendy had a reputation. Now, we love the no-hold bar, the unfiltered stuff that she would say about famous people, but the famous people didn't like it because she was shading people at their expense, talking shit about people's marriages, knowing full on well she was in a shitty one her damn self. Like, if we're going to be fair, let's be fair. Turnabout is a fair game. She said the shit herself. So, The View, because I'm reading Sailor Mermaid's comment, said exactly, and Wendy herself said she took the hot topic from The View, but at least she gave credit where it's due. But you know, Kelvin, and if you ask Kelvin invented the internet. He invented Fiji water. I mean, the one thing he was good at is being an infidel. He was good at cheating. He could barely do that. And you know what they say about, you know, at the end of the day, Kelvin, in the words of Miss Seeley, until you do right by me, everything you think about is going to crumble. And you know what? It is crumbling because he hasn't had no success since Wendy. So you created all these things, but after Wendy fired your ass, because he said, I know I'm jumping the gun because I got to read the rest. Because he's talking about, because here we said about being fired. He said, it's clear to say that after I left the show tumbled hard. My intellectual property of the creation of the Wendy Williams show and how it had come across was key. They would not have experienced the success they had without me. Wendy brought in 1.3 to 1.8 million views daily. Once I was gone, the people around her had her looking crazy sitting on that screen. They certainly didn't care that she kept getting the help that she needed away from TV, but I cared. I always cared. My heart was always in the right place about her. Yes, we had our problems, and it was so personal of what I and she built. That's why all the hot topics suddenly was about me. Really? Because I don't recall the hot topics being about you, sir. I do recall that even when the rumors was true and they had all the evidence over at what was it, the Daily Mail? They had all the evidence. The mail that you had in the mailbox that was coming to the house that you bought miles away from your home with Wendy's money. Tracking Sharina driving around in the Ferrari that Wendy paid for. All the stuff that was going on, the Daily Mail was following you. Wendy had private investigators following you. So what is he talking about? Like, you just be creating this whole narrative in your mind. So delusion definitely is what this man is. Delusional. Now he said that they tried their best to make her feel like you could be tough and prove and have power over him, to be really mean, but she could not front, and it was killing her inside. Wendy wasn't built like that. When I was around, Wendy's day ended when she left in that building, but mine didn't. There was always something that needed to be done, blah, 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 so on and so forth. Here's the thing. Wendy was built like that because she hatched a plan to fire your ass and to serve you divorce papers. She did a whole interview, and I wish we had the clip, where she said that it wasn't just going to be some regular guy walking up to you and being like, you got served. She had the fake FedEx truck, and had a guy dressed up in a FedEx suit and went up to you. It was two of them. And then had them approach you while you was outside in your pajamas or whatever. I guess you was coming to get the mail or whatever. Can't walk the dog. I don't know what the fuck he was doing that early in the morning. But she said it was 7 a.m. and they had the people come over and they brought the stuff and they were like, you got served. And then her attorney called her when she was in the makeup chair at the Wendy Williams show, was like, we done served your soon-to-be ex-husband. So he didn't see it coming. We all know that Wendy is notorious for hatching a plan. Everybody apparently knows your wife but you, because we pay attention to her. And said you were physically abusive to her, allegedly. You were mentally abusive. Because I remember the story. I remember the one time when he came to AMC, him, her, and Little Kev in the elevator, cussing and fighting. That's a first-hand experience. So Kelvin want to sit up here and tell his whole bullshit story. You can continue to believe your BS narrative if you want to. And then EJ Production, his ex, DJ, will tell you a notorious story about, what was it, Dons and Divas? He know the story. There was a legendary story about Kelvin then. He also said that Wendy was coming out of rehab. We were going through a divorce, and the news of my baby came out. I wasn't going to miss the birth of my daughter, Journey, the bastard child. And people saw me at the hospital. Truth be told, we should have got a divorce 10 years earlier. Even our son, Kelvin, said that to us. But anyway, when the news was out, I told her I would step down from the show, and Wendy told me I needed to stay because I was having a kid. I stayed, only to later be lined up. I don't believe that because Wendy said that she knew about the affair and all the other stuff, but the baby was the end. That was it. That was too much. And then he also says this about, he had the nerve to say justify the cheating. That's what's sending me. I get that the fans feel that I was sneaking around, that I hurt Wendy, but in reality, Wendy had caught me years before with Sharina, and I came clean then, and I asked her if she wanted to end the marriage, and she didn't, so we stayed together. I have often wondered, would it have been better to just end it then? I was too afraid of what would happen to Wendy if I wasn't there. Now it's just ended in divorce, and I can say that I am healthier, happier, and I'm no longer dependent on marijuana, so apparently marijuana is what caused him to do all of this. Okay. I'm no longer hiding my relationship, and I have a beautiful daughter named Journey. The only Journey I acknowledge is her last name is Smollett. Whatever. But anyway, it's 3 years later, so I am not one to make excuses. But until a person has lived in a relationship with someone with multiple addictions, I'm not even going to finish reading this shit. If y'all care enough, y'all can go on chrisavalon.com and read the rest of this foolishness. But I'm not going to sit up in here and let this man, and I say that loosely, punk ass bitch, puss ass hoe, in the words of my girl T.S. Madison, sit up in here and try to throw Wendy under the bus and justify his cheating on her throughout their marriage. Because remember, at one point when she was having difficulties getting pregnant and having little Kev, she threw him under the bus. She threw him. He was just like literally throwing everybody under the bus to justify the cheating. I don't get it. So it's Wendy's fault because she had her addictions and all the other stuff that you went out having all these affairs. I'm not buying it. I just think that Kelvin got caught up in the lifestyle. He got so caught up in the matrix of everything, all the drama, all the BS, and he basically just wants to have his cake and eat it. Well, you can. And you want to know, you're going to have to do it on your own dime, because what you're not going to do is sit up here and try to act like you're going to just continue to live rent-free off Wendy's coin, because you clearly have not had any success once Wendy fired you. You have taken a lot of Wendy's money and funded many of Sharina's little businesses, and they've all failed. Nobody's eating them nasty-ass, dry-ass vegan pancakes. I remember when you got her the kiosk at the mall. That failed, but I think she was trying to do a jewelry line. Everything, look, in the with Miss Seeley, and I believe it to be true. Until you do right by her, everything you think about and everything you do and everything y'all try to come up with is going to fail. It's going to crumble. It's going to do all them motherfucking things. And as a Virgo, karma is basically what keeps us going. To see it happen. I see it, bitch. It's that energy. It's like that third eye. We always know what it's coming for, bitch. That's why we try to play what we play when we play it. So, Kelvin, go spit on a rock or something. Anyway. So, okay, I'm going to have to make some executive decisions because the show's been going on a little longer. I know we normally do it the 2-hour thing. And I know I've been reacting a lot to the comments and all this other stuff, and I've been having a good old time. So I don't want it to go over too late. So I'm going to have to cut the Van Jones and the Whoopi Goldberg topics. So what we're going to do right now, because I want to talk about those, we'll talk about it another time, or y'all can just go on chrisavalon.com and read those. When we come back, we're going to talk about The Voice being accused of racism following the semifinal results. I want to talk about Cardi B and talk about how anxiety has prevented her from releasing her follow-up to her debut album. We also got news on Bad Bunny, who was talking about, we got some music news regarding Bad Bunny. It may be a while before we get a new album from Bad Bunny, so stay tuned for that. Also, we're going to talk about Legendary. We're going to talk about drag. Some of your favorite drag queens had to hire a little more security since the whole Club Q shooting. And we're going to talk about same-sex marriage and interracial marriage has been protected by the House passed the whole situation. Biden's got to sign it. He's going to. So, and this, I feel like this and Brittney Griner, he's basically sealing his fate for second term. So we're gonna take a little short break, and when we come back, we're gonna come back with those topics. So don't go away. You know what? Since other people like to steal stuff, I'm gonna steal Wendy's line. So grab a snack and come on back. I hate that line, but I just felt like saying it for some reason. It just popped in my brain. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Chris Avalon, and I just wanted to come online for a second to put you guys on to a new product that was sent to me from some friends of mine. So, I'm all about trying to help out and support and endorse small businesses if, it's on point. And, for me, a lot of people may not know this, but as a person of color, I've always had an issue trying to find really good hair products for someone such as myself. So then when a friend of mine came and approached me with these products, I was like, okay, let me give it a shot. Let me try it out and see what's good. And I have to say that when he sent it to me, I'm pretty much pleased with what's going on. So there's this business called Joa's Paradise, and they sent me a package of 4 different hair products. So the ones I did try this morning before I did this video, I did the pumpkin ginger spice. This is a product that I think a lot of people should try. It's definitely worth the money. It is affordable, and it's also, everything is pretty good for the hair. Like, there's no animal products and all that stuff in there, so that's what I love about it. So if you guys are interested in checking them out, definitely head over to shopjozparadise.com. That's JOOZ paradise.com. So definitely try that if you get a chance.
Damaged, dull, broken hair with no bounce or shine? Bring your hair back to life with Joe's Paradise hair care products. Joe's is fortified with all natural ingredients that will give you that growth, shine, body, and fullness that your hair needs. Known to improve any type of hair in any style and bring it back to life. Joe's Paradise will never let you down. Joe's Paradise, our products were made to deliver.
When the pandemic happened, like in 2020, I kind of, had to pivot. I had gigs that I literally had canceled, and it was, what do I do now? So I started doing, I'd always had a YouTube presence. Like I was with the World of Wonder Network when they were doing it, and I interviewed the red carpets, and it was a lot of fun. But I never took it like as a full-time job or took it seriously. And then when that happened in 2020, I started investing my time into, okay, I can't do music right now. What else can I do? And I really found this love of content creation. So I started this YouTube channel, and I gathered sort of friends in the YouTube sphere. And one of these people that I gravitated towards was Cynthia Ann Beaumont, who is this very just sort of wacky, as much as I'm wacky, figure on YouTube. She had this story where she had a husband and she was a widow, and she had all this money she came into supposedly, and kind of we developed this whole storyline, and she was fighting with people on YouTube, and it became this weekly Friday night show that hundreds of people were tuning into. So I was like, wow, this is really exciting and fun. So, fast forward to March of this year, I reached out to a streaming network. It was a gay streaming network, and I was like, would you be interested in this? And they were interested in looking at it, and I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my God, a network is interested in this from what I created off YouTube. And it just lit a fire under my butt, and I was like, you know what, no matter what, I'm going to get this on TV. And I literally took the content I had created on YouTube, and I retrofitted, went back, edited it all by hand, and created this whole story, and involved all the Drag Race girls, to be part of it, and packaged it together. And sure enough, it got on Apple TV and Vudu.
No surprises, Mama June signed on to be their executive producer. Right away, she had an idea for a segment she wanted to film for the show.
The girls' grandparents had chickens, and one of them pecked pumpkin, so they got ringed neck.
They almost went for pumpkin.
Yes.
They thought she was a pumpkin.
Her grandfather literally went out there and butchered it.
Yeah.
Nana made the chicken dumplings that night, and I was like,
right. I would too.
I was like, what is she talking about? Oh, hey, we're back. I was in the middle of comment. Well, I was writing to T.S. Madison in the bit while that was playing. But anyway, welcome back to the show, y'all. Oh yeah, because she posted something that said, organized religion is the complete and utter destruction of the unification of Black and brown people. Good night. And I was like, bitch, they're not ready for that conversation. Look, I got an A in sociology for breaking down the hypocrisy of organized religion and how it is used to keep the minds of people enslaved. And if y'all want to continue to be slaves and y'all want to be emancipated and learn the truth, then you continue to believe all that bullshit that they tell y'all in these churches, where they want to just basically snatch up all your money and freedom of thought. Because y'all try to use the Bible to justify shit. Because if y'all hate gays so much, look, I could go on a whole list of things in that good old book that y'all don't really read with a fine-tooth comb on what it says y'all shouldn't do, but y'all do it. Because I guarantee you, those same folks in the Black community that hate gays, y'all be the main ones that, your favorite little food spot eating that shrimp and all that damn seafood, mixing fabrics and all kinds of other stuff. But that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day. And this is going back to the whole Brittney Griner thing. That's why, I brought that up. But like I said, a lot of y'all ain't ready for that conversation. A lot of y'all not ready to be unplugged for the Matrix. So anyway, back to the show, because, I could just go on a rant all day about these things. So let's talk about The Voice. So viewers are calling out The Voice for being racist after the results of this week's semifinals were revealed. Now, this tea comes from The Decider. It was revealed that Blake Shelton's 3 contestants, Bryce Leatherwood, Bodie, and Braden Lape, plus Camila Cabello's contestant Morgan Miles, were marked safe by viewers per USA Today, leaving John Legend's 3 performers, Kim Cruz, Pardita Bastola, and R. Jose Cardona, and Gwen Stefani's Justin Aaron in the bottom 4. While competing for the 5th spot of the Cardona advanced with his cover of Lady Gaga's You and I. Now, these results angered the long online community as the top 4 performers who received the most votes were white, while the acts left in the bottom 4 were all people of color. Many deemed that the public votes did not represent the contestants' talent and instead were acts of racism. One did. The demographic who watches The Voice and favors the young white country male singers. They're not even the most talented. Let a POC get the spotlight they deserve. Another wrote, this show is racist. The producers should be embarrassed. The best voices are left standing. Another person wrote, me and my girlfriend wrote hashtag The Voice, but we love watching The Voice. But this is ridiculous. Typical America being racist in 2 photos. 4 white people voted in the finals, and the 4 POC best singers, in my opinion, in the bottom. At John Legend got robbed, and he knew it. Well, this is why y'all got to start voting. And that's no shade, but it's like, okay, on one hand, because I know I got to break it all down. Now, here's the thing: for the most part, I'm gonna admit I don't watch The Voice. I've never seen a single one. Well, that's not necessarily true. I've seen clips, but I've never sat through and watched The Voice. Back in the day, I watched American Idol, but I've grown to seeing competition shows. But I just felt that this was a topic that we definitely need to talk about because this has been something that has been on the minds of the viewing public for the longest. But now I guess people feel like it's okay to call out these shows. And I find it very interesting that people are saying this because I've been saying for years, a lot of these shows, even American Idol now, if you watch that show, they pander and cater to middle America. They pander and cater to the country music market. Because I don't think they know a lot of times how they can market a lot of these artists. A lot of the people they're trying to develop in the music industry, they're trying to get them off TikTok. Like TikTok is the big thing, how music is getting, promoted and this, that, and the third. It's kind of like with Anita. No shade, but I was not featuring her. Like her music is just to me. Pretty girl, but I just feel like a lot of these songs that they've been putting out there, well, her debut album just wasn't hitting for me. Becky G's album is way better, in my opinion. But and I like Becky G. I remember one time I was playing her music when I was at the circus, and my roommate was like, "Oh my God, Becky," because of the stuff she was saying. But anyway, because she sings in Spanish now. But anyway, so I don't know. It's just, to me, it always seems like a lot of these shows, they try to cater to the country music market because I guess that's the only market that I realize in middle America or in America in general, is where they'll sell records in the side of it. But we all know, like, the times have changed. Like, to me, it feels like people are loving Beyonce's Renaissance. People are loving Bad Bunny. Like, Bad Bunny is like one of the biggest stars of the world right now, even in America. Like, he's crossed over into the American market without even having to speak a lick of English. And earlier yesterday, because we're in New York right now, and it's almost 1 a.m. that I'm doing this show. So at the time of when you see this, it's like 12:48 a.m. So it's technically Sunday morning. Last night, I spent 3 hours working on my list of top 22 albums. Not even top 20, it was top 30 actually. I came in with 30 albums. Forgive me if I don't know a lot of the LGBT artists that came out or whatever, but I did put a few queer artists up in there. It's a mixture. It's my girls, my rappers, my Spanish music, my you'll notice when you see the list that I listen to an eclectic amount of music. So I've already worked on the top of favorite albums of 2022. I'm going to work on my movies tomorrow. I've got it all in a draft because I got to come up with the photo and all other stuff. So I'm working on a lot of other things. But for the most part, it's like, here's the reality of The Voice. Whenever you guys have watched I don't understand why y'all getting that upset, because it's like, quiet as it's kept. When y'all have watched a single episode of The Voice, do y'all even remember who wins these shows? Do any of the people that have won this show, have they ever become as successful as, say, let's go over to American Idol, which has had many success stories? A Kelly Clarkson, a Fantasia. I would have said Ruben Sutter, but Ruben Sutter's career pretty much they needed to. The other one, Clay Aiken, he had an okay career, but his career really hasn't. The music, he ain't doing that anymore. Now he's like into politics, I guess, and being Nutmeg McCain's BFF. Jennifer Hudson got a talk show. Kelly Clarkson got a talk show, but they still release music. Adam Lambert still making music. But here's the other thing too that we forget about. Because this is why I want to talk about it. Because to me, it was like the way, but America, y'all not off the hook either. Because I don't even know why they brought that shit back. Because the judges y'all got now, child, Katy Perry could barely hold a damn note. I don't care how many times y'all try to have the backing track sound louder than her, but Katy Perry always trying to hit them notes and her voice don't go where it needs to go. Luke Bryant, whatever. You know, I know people was mad at him for bringing out Ron Dumbass Santis on stage in Florida. And Lionel Richie, you know, he the white black man. Like, everybody like him. I like Melanie Martinez. I forgot all about her. But, you know, I hated the way they did Adam Lambert. Now, we all knew he was clear to win that damn season. But then y'all chose Chris Allen. But we knew what it was. Y'all didn't want a homosexual. See, you know, when I'm unfiltered, I say the F word. But I forgot I'm on, you know, I'm not trying to get chopped and taken off or bleeped or whatever. Because we amongst people. And, you know, when I say, when I'm part of the community, I say certain words. I say the N word, I say the F word. I'm black and I'm homosexual. So I'll say, but when it comes to Adam Lambert, who has broken a lot of boundaries, and you know what, even I shout out to Lil Nas X, because Lil Nas X gave Adam Lambert credit, talking about, you know what, because he was the one that came before him, he gives him credit for where he is as an artist, like a mainstream artist. So I love the fact that Lil Nas X put that out there. And to me, and I think that's probably the inspiration where he did the whole Kiss at the BET Awards, because remember, Adam Lambert did it, I believe, at the American Music Awards, or was it the Grammys? He did it at one of those award shows, and they came for him for that. I gagged. I was like, oh, yes, we got us gays out here just kissing a bandmate on camera, being, you know, scandalous. And it was scandalous in them days. Still kind of is, because apparently, you know, we gays, y'all want us to be accessories, but y'all don't want to know that we fuck. Well, I got news for you. We do. What was I going to say? Oh, also, so yeah, with this show, I was mad because that Adam Lambert should have won his season. But they gave it to Chris Allen, and they wanted to go with the safe choice because the way that a lot of these industry people think, how do we market a gay artist? How do we market these black artists? Because apparently only black people could do R&B and hip hop. They don't know that we invented house music too, and rock and roll, although it's been whitewashed. That's a whole nother story. Because I was watching this video about Kelly Rowland. How, yes, Kelly Rowland is the one that kind of ushered house music. Because Usher wound up doing it after her. So I guess it is a pun intended. You know, she was trying to figure out like what to do with the music, and when she was trying to go solo, and then she went over to Europe, and that was for the third album. She was over in Europe for a year listening to dance music. She ran into David Guetta, and they started making songs together, but it wasn't hitting. But I love the Kelly Rowland stuff that she did, the collaborations with Love Takes Over and all the other songs that she did. And I would say that she was going to be this generation's Donna Summer. She didn't need to work with the right people, besides David Guetta. But I love that she gave him that opportunity. And then after, because they would give her flowers, then you had Usher and Black Eyed Peas and so many other artists who, after her, started working with David Guetta, because, you know, ain't no damn original ideas in the industry. Everybody see, well, who does something first. You always got to be the sacrificial lamb, and then they all copy. And then here we got, damn near a decade later, Beyonce comes out with Renaissance. And now she's a pioneer for house music, when Kelly did it first. But I say all this to say that I'm not surprised by the accusations that's coming from The Voice with the whole racism and all that other stuff. And we all know that the judges are more famous than the people that come on the show. That's why y'all watch. Y'all watch for Camilla Caborin. Y'all watch for Blake Shelton dry ass, which I heard he's leaving. And Gwen Stefani and John Legend. And I believe they haven't had that many black judges on the show. I believe I wrote that in the article as well. I'm not gonna read all these damn tweets. So wait a sec. It says, when it comes to black coaches, CeeLo Green held the role in seasons 1, 3, and 5 and was replaced by Usher in seasons 4 and 6. Upon Usher's departure in season 7, Alicia Keys was brought in for seasons 11, 12, and 14, replaced by Jennifer Hudson for season 13 and 15, and the pattern continues. But I did hear that Blake Shelton's leaving. So I'll keep abreast of the stories if it develops. You know, some country person's going to win, and then whoever's going to win, y'all not going to buy the album anyway. So I don't know why y'all that upset. But yeah, let's move on. So speaking of music, because Cardi B, we still wonder when this damn album coming out. But she want to talk about getting ass shots removed, which I'm all here for. Because if you want to talk about your plastic surgery and giving people pointers and going like what they need to do, and it's going to help somebody, and then talk about her son's big ass head. These are her words. Big ass, my son's big ass head stretched out my pussy. This is what's said in the lie. Like I wouldn't just. I probably would say that, but that's what she said. And I cackled when she. I was like, "Damn, Cardi! Like talk about unfiltered. She's more unfiltered than me." But anyway, so Cardi B may be the hottest female rapper in the game, but for some reason, she's taking forever to release a follow-up to Invasion of Privacy. Now, last week, when she called into the Breakfast Club to bid Angela Yee adieu, she revealed that she would be releasing her sophomore album sometime in 2023. And on Tuesday via IG Live, she revealed to her fans all the factors that's contributed to the album's delay. Now, Barty revealed that her lack of confidence in the quality of the music she's recorded, fear of criticism, and having separation anxiety over being away from her 2 children. She's saying, "I'm just a mom and I do have anxiety. I've been having a lot of anxiety because I know right after I drop my album, I have to go out on tour and I have bad separation anxiety from my kids," she admitted. When it comes to music and everything, I just be feeling like I don't be liking anything. I feel like I got so many songs and I don't like anything. I feel like nothing is good enough and I got so much money saved up. I just be like, yeah, whatever the fuck. Cardi went on to reveal that music feels like a job to her these days, although her recent 35-minute performance reminded her of how much she loves going on stage. Making music to me has become like a job, and that gives me anxiety because everybody just critiques everything that I do. It's just like sometimes you don't want to do something that gives you that much anxiety. So I just be freezing myself, but I have to let that go. I have to release more music. I have to just go get out there. And I agree with her. I feel like Cardi, you focus too much on what the fans think and not even what the fans think, but just the haters. You can give too much energy to those people going to criticize. There's always going to be people, sorry to say, but there's always going to be people who criticize what you regardless. There's always going to be your haters. Like, I'll even admit sometimes that I get afraid to take chances to do things. There's certain things that I want to do. Like, I want to jump into other creative endeavors, but I always get afraid of like, oh my God, what if it doesn't work? What if somebody said, oh, it sucks? What if, like, these are little things you worry about. But at the end of the day, sometimes you just got to shut off the noise and you just got to take the leap. And if they like it, they like it. They don't, they don't. Music, art in general is suggestive. So it doesn't matter. Just put the album together, put the album out, and if people receive it, great. If they don't, great. At least you did your best. You put out the work and do what you need to do. But if you owe Atlantic some albums, Miss Mamas, you need to put it out. Because all the excuses, it's just too much at this point. And I'm a fan. I love her music. I love my female rap girls. And the fans definitely want the music from you. They can't wait to see you. So good luck to you, Miss Cardi girl. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. But yeah, they said like the album is supposed to come out in 2023. And I should also say that anxiety is no joke. Like, I have moments of where I get extremely anxious. And I've always had people my entire life. Like, I know I've always dealt with anxiety. I've always been overly anxious about stuff. And you try to control it, but you can't. But it's just something that you just got to work through. And they have medication, but they always try to fix everything with freaking medication. And I don't think medication is always the answer. So, to everything. I mean, if you bipolar or whatever, if you got some extreme behavior situations, then maybe yes. But, you know, smoke some weed if you got anxiety. Or have a drink, like some wine or something. I don't know. But I'm no doctor, so let me not prescribe y'all to stuff. And then they'd be like, oh no, that's the wrong thing to be just prescribing to people. But for the most part, anxiety is no joke. It's just something that you just got to work through. And I totally get where you're coming from, Cardi, because I go through those moments as well. So good luck to you, and I'm looking forward to hear the new album when it comes out in 2023. So speaking of music, let's talk about Bad Bunny. So Bad Bunny just recently did an interview with Billboard magazine where he's the cover boy, and it's called Year of the Bunny. And definitely it is Year of the Bunny because, you know, as we said, he is Apple Music's Artist of the Year. He's been nominated for multiple Grammys, including Album of the Year, which, no shade, as I know a lot of y'all want Beyonce to get it. But my choice, like I said from the beginning, I actually want Bad Bunny to get it. I feel like it would be huge for the culture. It would also go to show that you don't necessarily need to speak English in order to make an impact in America. Because to me, it's like, even if you don't understand it, and I listen to music from all around the world. I listen to music in French. I listen to music in Spanish. I listen to music in all different languages. To me, you don't need to understand what the person is saying for the music to move you. I feel like the rhythm, the energy coming from the artist, like even when artists sing certain songs, it's like, I don't know what the hell they say, but I definitely feel what you say. Like, to me, I feel like that's what music does. Music is a thing that collectively brings people together. So I feel like if we get someone like a Bad Bunny that wins that type of title, that's huge for America, knowing like this whole say that you have to be English speaking, you have to be American, you have to be all these things in order to be accepted in the United States, because America is supposed to be a melting pot, it's supposed to be about a mixture of cultures, you know, where people from all over the world come and find a better way of life. So to me, it plays into that narrative, and that's what I'm here for. So after breaking countless records, receiving world domination in a short period of time, Bad Bunny has announced that he's taking a break from music. Now, chatting with Billboard, the rapper born Benito Antonio Martinez Ocasio revealed the reason why he's taking a break. He says, 2023 for me, for my physical health, my emotional health, to breathe, enjoy my achievements. That's what the 28-year-old explained. He says, we're going to celebrate. Let's go there. Let's go there. Let's go here. Let's go there. Let's go on the boat. I have a couple of sporadic commitments, and I'll go to the studio, but there's no pressure. Remember yourself, cabron. You've worked your ass off, he added. In the article, he also opened up about witnessing his career flip for the better after his El Último Tour del Mundo, why can I speak, tour, hit larger venues early this year. He says, my career has had many flips, many points of inflection where I'm here, and then suddenly I'm there. So that tour was very, very cabrona, very euphoric. When I went to the stadiums, my only point of reference was that the stadium shows in Puerto Rico in December 2021. Those two shows in Puerto Rico were hard. I aged 3 years. I swear I enjoyed in the end, but there was a lot of pressure. And I thought this tour would be the same, but for my very first show in Orlando, it has been so much fun. He also, you know, is planning on, I should say, he's getting into acting as well, because I think that's what he's going to be spending a lot of time on as well. So we should bring that up, because, you know, he's made appearances, like he was in Narcos Mexico, and he was also in Bullet Train, which is on Netflix if you haven't seen it. He's about to start in his first leading role as a superpowered luchador in the superhero film El Muerto. And he says, I love wrestling. I'm a pro wrestler. I don't know if you know, the musician born Benito Antonio Martinez Ocasio told the CinemaCon crowd at the time in a nod to his WrestleMania debut last year. This is why I love the character. I think it's the perfect role for me. It will be epic. So they say El Muerto is supposed to come out in January 12, 2024. And here's the thing. While we have not seen Bad Bunny act as much, like I said, he was in Narcos Mexico, and he had a small little part in Bullet Train. I loved him, even though he didn't do much. He was good for what he did in Bullet Train. I'm sure he's tackling music, he's going to tackle acting the same way. And I really feel like what he's going to do is he's going to basically do right by the films. He's going to take the acting class. He's going to do all the, probably the physical training that he's going to need to play this part. Now, I will say this. I don't know how much faith I have in Sony when it comes to their anti-hero Spider-Man spinoffs. As me personally. And then, EJ, who's DMs, he's a wrestling fan. Says he was good in WWE. So he definitely can have that look. Y'all said the same shit about Dwayne Johnson, and look what his career is. So, and not only that, but we got Taylor Swift about director. So there's a lot of people that's jumping into different things and doing different things. So we got Taylor Swift about to make her directorial debut, and I know people was hating on that. I don't know why. Like, when I heard that she was directing a movie for a smaller company, like she's doing an independent film, I think a Disney imprint. I can't remember the company off the top of my head, but she's doing it for a smaller imprint. It's a small independent film, which is perfect. I'm like, I totally see that for her. Like, she just did a short film with Dylan O'Brien, who I absolutely love. I actually want him to replace Ezra Miller as the Flash, because I don't think Ezra Miller's coming back for the Flash 2. After all this stuff that they've been getting involved with, I don't see that happening. But I am a huge fan of Dylan. I have loved me some Dylan O'Brien ever since Teen Wolf. And I'm mad at the Teen Wolf movie. But I digress. So I definitely see Taylor Swift with that sort of thing, just like I see it for Bad Bunny and acting. I don't know why people have a hard time just letting people kind of dabble into other aspects of entertainment. Music is kind of sort of acting. Like you're taking on a character, a persona, you're performing, you're doing these things. So I don't know why it's a problem that people have with that. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing it. But I have to say, Sony, you have not really been giving me what needs to be given. I don't know necessarily. Oh yeah, I did hear about Dylan doing the queer film series. Can't remember the name of it. I think it's something about prostitutes or something or another. I saw the story the other day and I didn't write the article, but I did hear about it. But anyway, so what was I saying? Oh, so I'm not liked. I hated. I say hate's a strong word. Hated Morbius. Did not like any of the Venom movies. Did not like the first one or the second one. I didn't. I love me some Tom Hardy, but I did not like those two movies. Kraven the Hunter. I don't know. I'm a little worried. And then they got Madam Web. So we're getting all these little spinoffs, but y'all haven't been given what needs to be given for me. But they make money. So, I mean, I don't know if movies make money, but I was so mad when I went to the movies to see that shit. I went with friends, and I ain't paid for it. But I was still mad. I had to sit there. But I will say this. I definitely enjoyed the seats at the AMC on 34th Street with they heat up. They warm up the booty. So the booty was nice and toasty, but the movie was shit. But so, for the most part, I am looking forward to seeing Bad Bunny this one. I hope he does well. So, good luck to you, Benito. And I definitely feel like you need a break. Look, I can survive on Verano Sinti. I can survive on the albums you have that came out, and then maybe he'll work on the soundtrack. So I'm good with the break, and it's deserved. You've been working hard for 6 years straight with no break, so you definitely deserve it. No shade, but I'm glad you said it, Robert. I know you and I are big Madonna fans, but Madonna, she can't direct. Taylor Swift I can see directed. Maybe they need to get Taylor Swift to direct Madonna's biopic. That's what we need to get. Madonna can't direct. Most of us are saying hard executive producer and leave her family out. Just when she moved to New York, as Christopher is holding the film back. Oh, they're talking about the other movie, but I don't need Madonna to direct. She's not good at it. Madonna is good with the music. Acting and filmmaking is not her forte, and I love the woman. She is an icon. She's the queen. But it's just, film is just not your thing. You are not Guy Ritchie, sweetie. I know you married a man, and you were thinking you were going to get this whole thing. Kind of like Jennifer Lopez married Ben Affleck. Y'all thinking that kind of gets you in this little, it's not going to work. Just still Amos mamas. Sometimes we can do it all, sometimes we can't. Okay, so we only got a short amount of time, so let me get through these last 3 topics. So HBO has canceled Voguing competition series Legendary after 3 seasons. Now, I know it's probably like deja vu, because I could have sworn that I did this article a couple of weeks ago, like 3 weeks ago, and here the news is official. But I guess because nobody believes me, I gotta do it again, because now it's official. It's official. So similar to the Nikki Glazer fronted dating series, Legendary is the Nikki Glazer fronted dating series being F-Boy Island, because they canceled that too. So yeah, HBO series Legendary has been given a chop, and Legendary is a relatively expensive show like F-Boy Island for a streaming service that pulled out of original unscripted orders earlier this summer. Now, at the time, the streamer noted that while it wasn't ordering any new unscripted originals, it would consider renewing existing shows, but F-Boy Island and Legendary are more expensive than the David Zaslav run company would like to spend on unscripted shows. It's also a blow for diversity in unscripted programming, as Legendary was one of the most inclusive reality shows on air and praised by GLAAD. The show was fronted by MC Deshaun Wesley and judges Leomi Maldonado, Jamila Jamil, Laura Roche, I think it's La Roche, but he spells it La Roche, and Keke Palmer, who replaced Judge Megan Thee Stallion after 2 seasons. And we did talk about after the show, because it was happening while we were talking about it, that Keke is pregnant. So congratulations and shout out to her again. Now, the first season premiered in May 2020, the second season launched in May 2021, and the third season aired in May 2022. But we would have got one for May 2023 if they were going to shoot another season. It was produced by Queer Eye producer Scout Productions. It was executive produced by David Collins, Michael Williams, Rob Eric, Jane Y. Munn, and a whole bunch of other people. Now, for those of you who don't know, Legendary features a group of voguing houses, each featuring 5 performers and a leader called the House Mother. The teams compete in a competition that documents as a theme ball every episode from start to finish. Throughout each episode, we learn more about each house and their performers as they tell us their moving and inspirational backstories. Now, what I'm wondering is, are they talking about it was expensive because of the amount of people they had into a house? So you had 5 dancers for each house. I believe there was 10 houses. So there was literally 50 people, I believe, that they giving money that they were paying to have on the show. And all this other stuff. So maybe it was the case that they wanted to cut corners with that, plus the production, stage, and all these other things that was going on. It's a fairly expensive show, and especially when you have it on a streaming service. But I did see that there were some tweets that came out, and one tweet said, between Legendary getting canceled by HBO Max, Drag Race Season 15 promos not dropping on December 7th. Yeah, where the fuck are the goddamn promos for Season 15? We still don't know when Drag Race is coming. Like, it should have been dropped a trailer by now. And the new season, I believe, starts next month. I believe it's the 6th of January. Same day as RuPaul's Black Butter album. But anyway, so it says, and Raja Ice is being overlooked by the judges on Canada versus the World, which is not given what needs to be given this season, I have to say. Canada versus the World is about as I'm not liking this season, just like I didn't like UK. We've suffered too much lately. HBO canceling Legendary right off the heels of Renaissance is the dumbest fucking shit I've ever heard. That business is doomed. Another wrote, Drew Sidora's Lunchable. That's hilarious. HBO canceled Legendary, House of Dragon, and Euphoria comes out 2 years from now. What am I going to watch? Well, child, check your local listens, because there's a lot of shows on TV. Watch Wednesday. That's a show. It's official. No season 4 of Legendary. This is from Dro Tishi, by the way, who was on the show. Wrote this. No, it's official. No season 4 of Legendary on HBO Max. Even though I'm sad to announce this, I'm so blessed to have been able to be a part of all 3 seasons. Literally worked my way up, and I'm honored. Kitten Heel, who was also on the show, wrote, honored to be a part of the Legendary legacy. I will cherish this opportunity for the rest of my life. I got to represent ballroom culture, which has impacted my life in so many ways. And Leomi, not Lay, wrote, anyone who knows me knows how passionate I am about ballroom and its existence. I feel broken. And then Deshaun the Icon wrote, because he definitely is, so let's just say Legendary went to another home. Tag the network you think would uphold best. So if you want to see the show come back, tweet Peacock, Netflix, Paramount Plus, or Prime Video. Me personally, I would either like to see it on Paramount Plus because Paramount Plus is where Drag Race is, and what is it? The All Stars is there. Or you could do Prime Video. Prime Video has a lot of reality shows over there. They have the Heidi Klum show with Tim Gunn. They also have, they always show the Rihanna Savage Fenty stuff. They also have, they just dropped Dragged In with Manila Luzon. That just dropped on Friday. So I think Amazon might be the good place to try to shop it out. But if y'all want to see Legendary come out, let's hit them up with the ats and the hashtags and whatever, and let's get this show picked up because Legendary is definitely something that is needed in our community. It is definitely, I love all things ballroom since Paris is Burning. You know, we had Pose and now we had Legendary. And I feel like Legendary is a great opportunity because it's like a cross between, Paris is Burning meets America's Best Dance Crew. And we kind of need that vibe of having that happen for these, these queer people. They need a voice, they need a place to shine, they need to be seen. Like there's so many people I know that was on Legendary. Even David, who was in the comments, his drag mother was on a season of Legendary. So shout out to y'all. I'm hoping they pick the show, and if they don't, we'll always have the 3 seasons. I'll go back and watch it. Okay, so the next topic, because we've got one more topic, and then I can just talk about the legislation for stuff real quick. Like that's not going to take a whole thing. I can just mention that in passing. But okay, so let's talk about Drag Race. So with the recent club shooting at Club Q in Colorado and the GOP militia group, the Proud Boys, harassing drag queens while carrying semi-automatic weapons, some of your favorite drag queens, or Drag Race queens rather, have hired extra security while on tour. Now, Drag Race Season 5 and All-Star 7 winner Jinx Monsoon, who is currently touring alongside Drag Race alum Ben Della Creme, or as some of us call her, Ben Della Christ, revealed to NBC News that they travel with armed guards, use metal detectors, and have venue escape routes as their shows in the US should something pop off. Child, what is this, escape room? Season 11 winner Evie Oddly revealed that her management company sent her and other drag performers an email saying they had requested extra security staff at their shows and will have the security teams check patrons for guns. Alaska, who is currently touring the US with her latest album, Red for Filth. And I heard that tour is amazing. I definitely wanted to see it, but I've heard her tour is really good, and I definitely want to check it out. Or hopefully it ends up somewhere where I can see it. But anyway, this is what she said. Why do we have to be worried about where the exits are and where a safe route to get to safety is? It's terrifying, but that's the reality of it. Latrice Royale believes she has a theory on why there seems to be so much pushback against drag queens as of late, saying before drag was so mainstream, we were underground. Everything happened at night at nightclubs. In the wee hours of the morning, it was not accessible to the mainstream of the world. But Shea Coulee, who was set to star in the upcoming Ironheart series for Disney Plus, said this is not the time to be afraid. She said, you can't shake a bitch that's not afraid of you. I can get maybe a disapproving glance, but the moment I look them dead ass in the eye and make eye contact, who do you think is the one looking down at the ground first? Them. And we have so much stuff going on with all this. Like, there's so many things that's happening. The craziness going on. We got drag queens being harassed at, for wanting to read storybooks to kids, which was something I used to do when I was a kid. Not addressing drag, but I used to read books. Like, remember when my mother worked in the school and I would get in trouble, I would get suspended. My mother was like, you're not staying home, you coming right to me with my job. And basically she would go and be working in the school, and I would be put in like one of the kindergarten classes and sit up in there, and I would literally take a book out and I would read to the entire class of like first graders. And that was something that I actually loved doing. I loved cracking open a book and reading to the kids and really getting them involved on us. I don't know what happened now. I can't stand a little rugrat side. But yeah, I used to read to little kids and stuff when I was a kid. But anyway, we got drag queens being harassed just for wanting to read books to kids. and kids look at drag queens as like a little fairy or something. They're not looking at it the way these crazy ass Proud Boys, you know, with their little small dicks and the big weapons. And I'm talking about the semi-automatic ones, you know, like run around with. Because apparently y'all scared of drag queens, y'all scared of gay people. You know, we got mass shooters entering safe spaces like Club Q and want to spew this fake ass narrative that the shooter is non-binary. I'm not buying that I'm not buying that at all. Then we got this whole story about a serial killer invading gay bars in Hell's Kitchen, where they robbing and drugging patrons. The police ain't talking about it. The police ain't doing nothing about it. I don't know if y'all heard the story, but there's, you know, all this other stuff that's going on with them. So we have this whole thing, and it's sad that the Drag Race girls have to worry about their security. Gay people have to worry about their security in America. I know we're sitting up in here talking about what's going on with people in the community and all other stuff, and worrying about what's happening with gays overseas and bringing people like Brittney Griner back, and that's great. But we gotta fix our own house, and we gotta clean up and everything going on out here before we can start worrying about things everywhere else. So good luck to my girls over at, you know, the Drag Race girls. Good luck to all these local drag queens that are out here doing their job to make the world a better place, while we got these bigots and racists and right-wing lunatics and these GOPers who want to take us back 50 years and ruin the rest of the world with their hate and their rhetoric. And, you know, maybe we're moving in the right direction with the House passing legislation to secure interracial and gay marriage. So the Respect for Marriage Act has been passed with a bipartisan support of 258-169 vote. And we had 39 Republicans who joined Democrats in voting yes on the measure. One of them was not Mitch McConnell, and one of them sure was not Ms. Lindsay. So there you have it. So, and yes, I'm going to rap. So now, as we say, I rapped. So I want to thank you all for watching the show. Tune in next week for a brand new episode of the Rundown. And yes, this was a very fruitful show. A lot to talk about, child. Yes, I went over, but yes, guess what? It's not a show on the network. This is YouTube. But anyway, love you all for watching. See you next time. And like I always say, until next time, ciao, darling.